I'm Mikey Bledsoe, and this is Cookin' and Pickin'. Today, we're going to do my grandmother's mountain goulash. Now you say, light that fire.
Light that fire.
Oh, we're cooking and we're picking on the side of that mountain. Yes, we're picking and we're cooking, and you know the food is right, 'cause we're cooking and we're picking. Listen to the songs right here. Well, we're cooking and we're picking at the Lucky Star in Swatchy Valley, Tennessee.
Okay, today, like I said, we're doing my granny's mountain goulash. Today on the show, we have some very special guests with us. This is 12 Strings, which is Mr. Taylor Freeman
Thank you for having me.
and Dustin Mitchell.
That's right.
See, I got it right that time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for
Brother,
being
it's
on the
good to
show.
see you.
I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Hey, today, like I said, we're going to do us a little bit of goulash. Let me show you what we got going on over here. Today, we do have goulash. We've got 2 cups of large elbow macaroni. We've got 2 pounds of ground chuck. I like to put a little bit of a bell pepper in mine, so I took one decent sized bell pepper. We've got some chicken broth, some rotel, some stewed tomatoes, some tomato paste, 1 large onion, some garlic, some W sauce, sauce. We've got some, hey, can you say it? I can't.
Yeah.
We've got some mesquite seasoning. I've got 2 tablespoons of that, 1 tablespoon of paprika, a couple bay leaves there, and some salt and pepper to taste. That's all we need for this recipe, and I'll get her a-going. Today we're gonna start with, you'll hand me those onions right there.
Sure.
I'd like to get them in there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get a few things in the pot before I even hang it on the fire. Today we're cooking on an open fire. And then the garlic there, if you don't mind, sir. Now that's what I like. And these bell peppers right here, I'll get them and stick them in there, soften them up just a little bit before I put my meat in there. I have pre-browned my ground chuck, and so we're gonna get these softened up and then put the chuck in there on top of it. All right, let's walk over here to the fire. Oh yeah. Let that get good and warm. I see what you're doing. You're trying to get good and warm too.
Right. Is it done?
Not quite. Not quite. All right, we're gonna let that sizzle for just a little bit and start getting a little bit warm. It'll take a minute to get that pan a little bit warm, and then we'll put our meat in there and go on with the rest of the recipe. The next thing I like to do is I take my 2 pounds of meat. I'm gonna go ahead and put my seasonings in there. There's my mesquite seasoning. That was about 2 tablespoons. About a tablespoon of paprika. My W sauce, which is sauce,
Nailed it.
which is about a tablespoon. And I like to do a little salt and pepper to taste. Not a lot, because that Worcestershire is a little bit salty. Just a little bit. And then we're gonna let that sit. I'm not gonna put that bay leaf in quite yet. We're gonna go ahead and get this put in the pan. Oh yeah. Well, maybe.
Want your little thing?
There we go. Get down in it real good. There we go. I got him. Mix that up, and I like to let the flavors of the onions and the garlic and all that really incorporate with that meat real good. We'll let this sit in there and incorporate for a good 5 or 10 minutes. And then we'll add our other ingredients and let her go.
All right, so now is it done?
Not quite.
Just kidding.
Not quite. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these ingredients. This,
This little guy.
yeah, if you don't mind, we'll ease this over this way. We've got some chicken broth here. Some rotel. Go ahead and put this stewed tomatoes in there for us. Yeah, buddy.
Look at that. Looking good.
All right, let me get this mixed
These
up.
bay leaves in last so we can see them in there.
Let me get this glove on right quick. And I like to chop them stewed tomatoes up just a little bit so they're not so big. And then get them mixed in. Oh yeah, she's looking good. I don't want to lose my pot here. Okay.
Put some dollops.
Yeah,
You
let's-
want the whole thing in there?
Yes, sir. A little bit of tomato paste here.
Spread it out for you there.
Yeah.
Scrape that oil on there.
There we go. That's a looking good.
Dustin, you're doing great.
I
You did
appreciate it.
a
I'm working hard
wonderful
over
job. Wonderful
here.
job.
Supervising.
Scrape that guy.
All right, thank you, buddy.
All right.
Some of the best helpers I've ever had. Okay, if you could throw me some noodles in there, buddy.
You want the bay leaves?
Not quite yet. Go ahead, go ahead. All right, I'm gonna get them noodles all mixed in there where they get some of the goodness down in the bottom. Get that liquid all up there on them. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna cook now for, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, till them noodles get good and soft in that liquid. All right.
You want to do the bay leaves?
Yes, sir.
There's a bunch of them down here too.
Yeah, I think we'll stick with these. All right. We're going to let that go for, like I said, about 20, 25 minutes, and then we'll be ready to see what we got. While we're waiting on our goulash to finish up there, let me ask you guys a few questions. Well, for one thing, you guys have known each other for a long time. When did you guys meet? How did you get together?
We met a long time ago, dude. We went to high school together.
Okay,
We weren't in the
okay.
same like graduating class, but we were in the same classical guitar class that we took, 2-3 times a week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we crossed paths a lot, and we found ourselves at a lot of gatherings, jammed a lot, and everything.
We weren't like in the same necessarily like since we weren't in the same class, we weren't as like close, I guess, back then, like
Yeah.
when we were younger, through our high school career, and then we separated for college. But we played music with the same folks like all the time. So
Okay,
that was like
okay.
we were musical colleagues, but we weren't like. He wasn't the other 6 to my 12 strings yet.
I got you.
we were always familiar with each other, and we, like I said, we crossed paths a lot. But yeah, after high school and kind of in the middle of college, there was a lull there where we probably didn't really see each other, talk to each other much. I was in Murfreesboro at MTSU, and he stayed in Chat, so we didn't really
understand.
see each other that often. But through COVID, we both just, the opportunity just kind of presented itself. I wouldn't say that really either of us really like gung-ho champions the idea of starting any kind of project. It just kind of happened organically.
Well, he did gung-ho champion a project in COVID, which is why we connected. What was the piece?
It was
like he wanted to, everyone was on lockdown, so he wanted to do something like inspirational and involve some of his, the music community in something that we could do remotely. And
Taylor was one of about maybe 12 or 15 vocalists and instrumentalists that I reached out to, with the idea being that we would do a collaborative version of Amazing Grace.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I had and what was fun about the idea to me was that I had seasoned female vocalists, I had instrumentalists, I had young male vocalists, so the key was going to have to constantly change. And I even was, unfortunately, the project never ended up coming to fruition. I couldn't get everything I needed together to make it happen, but I even had some vocalists like sing a harmony part to other people's vocal track that I brought in, So it was going to be this really great, slice and diced video of, and I was going to do all of the backing music.
Think about
for it
what
and
people
stuff.
were doing during lockdown.
Right,
Everyone
right.
was doing all the live streaming.
But you two actually got together and formed what is known as 12 Strings after this?
Not long after.
Not
Yeah.
long after. That was
Okay.
kind of
I'll
like
tell you exactly what happened. He sent me his video of him doing his part in Amazing Grace, and I've told him this before. We've talked about it a lot, but I was really blown away at the dramatic progress in his playing and his tastefulness and thoughtfulness about what he was doing. Even just the fact that he followed through and sent it to me with. I mean, you probably had the quickest turnaround time from when I requested your input on the project to when I actually had it delivered. All of those things culminated in thinking like, I've always been cool with Taylor. We've hung out a lot, and
it had
we've
been a few
friendly.
years since he heard me play.
It'd been a
So then he
long
heard
time.
yo boy on the.
It's been a long time, but I distinctly remember the moment of being supremely impressed at his playing, and I thought like maybe there's something we could do there, you know. And I had also just again, it was a culmination of a lot of things happening at once, but I had just finally, after 4 or 5 years with the same company, switched to day shift. Finally, I was working night shift Friday, Saturday nights.
So you could actually play.
I had no availability to gig anywhere. And so, yeah, everything kind of timed up perfectly, and I thought, like, if I'm going to do anything, like, Taylor's video was fresh on my mind, and that impression of his playing and everything how much he had grown as a musician was fresh on my mind. So I thought, like, let's reach out to him and see if he's interested in starting something. And it always was. I will say this. The inception of reaching out to Taylor to start a project, it was always going to be an acoustic duo.
Nice.
It was never going to be a full band project.
I got you.
know.
I got you.
COVID made it, the settings of COVID made it make the most amount of sense to do a simple acoustic duo.
2 people.
Yep.
You're not in.
Oh, believe me, I understand.
Yeah, you don't have to have a bunch of breathing mouths.
Well, now, you guys, you do write a lot of your own stuff. You also play some covers. When it comes to writing, though, who is some of your influences? Who do you think about when you go to put one of these compositions together?
That's a good question, Mikey. I would say that, like, for what we do, like you said, playing covers, even when we play a cover, like a Blue Oyster Cult song, for example, some of my influences are obviously my, my guitar idols and, the players that I've followed throughout my entire study of the instrument. But at the same time, I think it's a lot of the influence comes from the classical approach that I think we both got enough of, and through high school and college.
I understand.
So the arrangement aspect of it and the kind of thoughtfulness on what our individual parts are. So things like contrary motion or harmonized lines.
Before we even had a name for the group, we sat down and had a conversation that was just kind of like game planning, strategizing. How do we want to think about this and stuff? And one of the really early conversations that we had was that neither of us wanted to really ever be playing the same thing. There's the old adage of cowboy chords. Just
like we're never
going
to be both in the same like first position chords. That never needs to happen at the same time.
And that's equal parts for us and the listeners. For us, it makes it more interesting. It makes us more inspired and motivated. And for the listener, we sound bigger than 2 acoustics a lot of the time. And then we also, we'll be playing an instrumental here that we wrote, and we do a lot of instrumental songs, covers and our own, but we also have vocals. He sings harmony with me, and I sing lead, and everything we can do for 2 guys to sound as big as possible, which is kind of like I'm realizing this as I'm saying it out loud right this second. That might have been like an underlying reason to call the group 12 strings.
Yeah.
You know,
it was.
Take the
because
distinction of there's not just two guitars playing the same thing.
Two totally different.
There's
right.
12 separate strings all doing their own thing, but also the same adage of it's only two guitars that you're hearing at the same time. Two guys playing two 6-string instruments. And then one of our like early mission statements was like to just push the boundaries, or, you know, to try to, you know, bend and flex the sound of two guitars to be as big as possible in a thoughtful manner.
When you guys write these compositions, and a lot of the times on the show we have singer-songwriters because that's what they
For
do.
sure, yeah.
You guys are instrumentals, but you do some vocals also.
Absolutely.
Do you ever write songs with vocals, or does everything that you guys put together mainly instrumental?
When it's me and him, especially for writing something from scratch, it's typically been instrumental work. Now I have songs that I have done on the
This
side.
band has a whole album.
Yeah, I did it.
Phenomenal music.
I did an acoustic
Okay,
album of
okay.
singer-songwriter stuff. It was just me, several tracks of me on guitar and singing harmony and stuff of original songs that do have lyrics and vocals and things like that. We've taken a couple of those tunes that I wrote back then, and we've sort of 12 strings the arrangements of them.
It's a verb,
Gotcha.
and made them spicier. But yeah, we haven't really. A lot of the songs that have vocals that we've done, we've focused on covers for stuff like that. It's the double-edged sort of being more appealing. You get more work doing stuff like that.
I understand.
And you know that. But we still, even with that being the case, I think we seized the moment in terms of he and I being like, there's just enough overlap in our playing that we're compatible as two guys in a project like this, but there's still
Very true.
very distinct stylistic difference between both of us. So I think for the originals that we've written, a lot of them have started with, I have an idea for a melody or a song or something, and I bring it to Taylor, and he will write a complimentary part to it that I would have really never gotten to that place if I was just writing it on my own. And it's even been, there have been some cases where I've kind of pushed back on ideas he had before I heard the totality of it, what it was. And now it's like, it's the only reason the composition elevated to where it was, because he played something that was so drastically unique and different, but that is a testament to his musical sensibility and background and influences, that's part of that outside of the overlap.
I got you.
Yeah, like
gotcha.
the opposite sides of the, like, you know, we connected up on the middle of this Venn diagram to be compatible players, but there is a healthy amount of, you know, I'd say a difference in approach to certain ideas.
Well, that's what makes you guys unique.
And I would say the same thing for him, that on ideas that he brings to the table blow me away all the time. And sometimes it's like, you know, we get in, and what I wouldn't even say, I wouldn't call them a debate or an argument or anything. I would say like a really rich, healthy conversation. We get healthy, rich conversations
That's what
about
makes a team.
what
That's
we're
what makes a team.
doing with the music, you know, what it's supposed to do, how's it supposed to feel. And, yeah, it's easier to do when there's just two guys.
Oh, I
so,
understand.
You know, you
I
look at the
understand.
history of some of these 5, 6, 7-piece bands. You know,
Well,
it
guys,
gets a
let
little
me ask you this right quick. How can people out there know where you're at, know what you're up to? If you got some social medias, .com, you know, let everybody know how they can find you and how they can find what you're doing.
MikeyBledsoe.com, dude. We're gonna be on there. This video.
That's going to be a little different.
Yeah, we're on Facebook and Instagram. If you look up 12 Strings Chat, 12 strings the word, and then chat with 2 T's.
Chat with 2
For
T's.
Chattanooga. You'll find us there on Facebook, and then I believe Instagram is the same thing. The handle is just 12 Strings Chat.
I would say
Okay.
on any of the socials, if you search 12 Strings Chattanooga and you spell out the word, our videos and our profiles are always going to be
Good deal.
up there available.
Well, guys, check these guys out. I'm going to have to check this food. I think we're about ready. Okay. Oh, yeah, that looks good. There we go.
Nice.
Boy, that's looking good.
Man,
right
it smells
there.
good too.
A little warm. Don't burn your mouse. All right. Well, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir. There you go, sir.
Oh,
Appreciate
the smell
that.
is coming
I know,
right
look,
at me.
I'm
I'm so
getting like-
happy right now.
Oh, all those seasonings and the onion and the garlic.
We'll wash your sister's
Hey.
sauce.
Your Worcestershire sauce. Absolutely wonderful. Well, let's take us a bite and
Yeah.
see what we got, fellas.
Let's do it.
A little warm now.
Could use a little warmth, brother. You said pretend like it's good, right?
Pretend like it's good. Yes. Oh, that is wonderful.
Man, that's good.
Dude, I could just smell it, and
Oh, that's delicious, dude.
Now, you guys mentioned you're going to play a song for us.
We are, yeah.
What song are you going to do for us?
We're gonna do a song that we wrote called Manic. It's another instrumental song that we wrote.
Okay.
bravo.
This song is, we wrote it like 2 or 3 years ago, and then it kind of, Taylor and I were talking about it last
I
night.
think we've just been writing it for 2 or 3 years.
The way I worded it was that it just kind of fell out of style. We hadn't really touched it in a while, but we had like the bones, the framework of it. But over the last few days, knowing in preparation for today, we've been really putting a lot of.
Well, guys, let's step over to the stage and let you play it for us.
Absolutely, man. We'd
Thank
love
you
to.
so much.
Thank you. Delicious.
Do you play music or are you a songwriter?
I was winded, breathless.
Did you know there's a professional recording studio right here in Pikeville? Schultz Recording Studios is a state-of-the-art recording studio in a custom-designed facility to make your talent shine.
You know I want you. Ask you.
Call us today to book a session and get your fire burning.
This is the Lucky Star event venue, located right here in beautiful Pikeville, Tennessee. We can cater to any event you may have, such as weddings, birthdays, baby showers, and music events, and much more. If you're interested, please contact us at 423-762-3097. All right, guys, today on Cookin' and Pickin', we have had a wonderful time. We've done Granny's mountain goulash, and that's been, I think there's a lot of people over there still eating some of that stuff, and it turned out wonderful. Today on the program, we've got 12 Strings with us, and they're going to do us a song. Guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about that song, and then let her rip.
Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate you having us out here.
Yeah, for sure. So this is this song is unique for a lot of reasons. It's an instrumental that Taylor and I wrote. It's called Manic. It's one of the few songs that we've sat down to arrange or compose that started with more of an emotion than it was like one of us had a cool melody idea or progression that just we were drawn to. And it's called Manic for a reason. It's a little bit of a if you're a musician, it may not sound like this to the casual ear, but to a musician, it's a very almost schizophrenic feeling melody and arrangement, and it definitely keeps us on our toes. It's something we've put a lot of hours into arranging. And then the only other thing I would say that kind of contributes to the uniqueness is the fact that this is I think this is the only song, cover or original, that we've ever worked on or pieced together that doesn't have a section that is dedicated to like an improvised solo.
Yeah, no solos.
Everything is very orchestrated and composed as movements. It's very, I mean, we mentioned it earlier, it's very classical feeling.
Absolutely. I think also going back to the title of the song, Manic, I think it reflects the emotion, but more so from the musician's or the composer's point of view, you know, and we did it almost like, I would say kind of hyperbolized that like quality of composing a song and being overly thoughtful almost, or like, you know, going extra hard and making everything its own section and the parts being very different. And then there's a little section at the end that kind of just like capitalizes on that quality. And it's not so much more of a song that reflects like somebody internally feeling manic. I think it's the composer's mania. You know, that's what I'd like to say about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mikey Bledsoe, and this has been Cookin' and Pickin' right here at the Lucky Star event venue. I would like to thank my special guest, 12 Strings, for being on the stage with me today and for helping us cook. We've had a great time, and I'd like to remind everybody out there to like, share, subscribe, and keep your fire going. Until next time.